So I have this is Suzanne Pavelle. She is a candidate for the Florida House of Representatives, District 19. Grew up in Massachusetts, earned a BA from the University of Oregon, where she studied anthropology, archaeology, and history with coursework in underwater archaeology. Her field projects have taken her to Delaware, Oregon, Hawaii, North Carolina, and Bermuda. And she has lived in St. Johns County for 26 years now. Okay. Thank you.
Hi guys, thanks. So this is the speech that I'm going to be giving on next Thursday, and I kind of had to tweak it, and so I will have it memorized by next Thursday. So if you guys have comments, feedback, suggestions, let me know. Oh, I'm supposed to stand up. I'm sorry. Hi. Thank you for being here, and happy Pride Month. I'm a proud ally. Pride is a celebration, but it's also a reminder that everybody deserves safety, dignity, and the freedom to live openly without fear. I'm Susanna Pavelle, and I'm also one of the leaders of Indivisible St. Johns County. And I'm running for State House, which is Florida District 19. And that encompasses all of Flagler County, but it also goes into St. Johns, where I live. And it's southeastern St. Johns County, so it covers the island where I live, which is on the east side of US 1. The downtown, and then again, all of Flagler County. So many people that I've been speaking to in Florida are really uneasy these days due to the policies from the state government. Our state parks have painted over rainbow sidewalks. When our LGBTQ plus friends, neighbors, and family are thinking about leaving, when our tax dollars are spent on political stunts like destroying New College, and when hundreds of millions of our tax dollars are spent on Alligator Alcatraz, instead of solving real problems that we have here in Florida, we need to address the cost of insurance. We need to address the cost of living. We need to address everyday issues. Something has gone really deeply wrong in the state of Florida, and we can fix it. All of the policies can be altered. We can fix our state, because the government is supposed to work for the people. This is the social contract that our legislators in Tallahassee have forgotten. Again, the government is supposed to work for us, not the corporations, not the big donors. My husband Brian and I moved to St. Augustine after living on both sides of the country, as you heard, 26 years ago. We started our first business then, and I'm not a real estate agent. I'm asked that all the time, and nope. Not real estate. Over the years, we saw life get harder for the working people, families, and small businesses as the cost of living continuously rose and hasn't kept up. I've been talking to people in the district, and many people that I've spoken to share the same frustrations that I have. People are working hard, but everything costs more these days. I just went to Home Depot, and Sam will appreciate this. There was a basil plant for $16. I mean, it was nuts. So I bought some seeds. You know, the prices have skyrocketed at Home Depot and other places since my last visit. Insurance and groceries are too high. Housing is too expensive. Rent is just, oy vey, it's through the roof. Traffic is increasing. We have flooding in places that we've never had flooding before. And there's also a clear cut everywhere. Like I drive by and there's new clear cutting. And our native animals are losing habitat, and they're also losing their lives. Public schools are under attack. Decisions about our roads, our schools, our water, our coastline, and our cost of living, those are all being decided by people in Tallahassee who don't live with the consequences. The government, like I said, is supposed to work for the people. We pay our taxes for the public good. In return, the government is supposed to protect our communities, educate our children, build infrastructure, and help the citizens. This is the social contract. And our legislators are breaking the promise of working for the people every legislative session. Tonight, I want to talk about 4 things: affordability, home rule, public schools, and money in politics. And don't worry, this won't be a super long speech. Okay, affordability. Nearly half of Florida households are really struggling today. They can't afford the basics, and this isn't normal. This is a crisis, and we need real property tax relief, targeted relief in Florida. This November, you're going to be asked to vote on a homestead amendment. And while saving money is appealing, as it's written, I personally totally oppose it. I can't support it because it's permanently cutting money that pays for our deputies, firefighters, and roads, and there's no plan to replace it. St. John's and Flagler counties together are going to lose $150.3 million annually. Again, $150.3 million annually. And I have a good graphic, but I didn't bring it. But this is money that's used for roads, fire rescue, EMS, law enforcement, drainage, infrastructure. And it's further erosion of home rule, which some of you that I've spoken to that have helped me with a lot of my speeches know is my big concern, and probably all of you, even if you don't know what home rule is yet. But we shouldn't lower one tax bill just to raise others. And we're going to increase fees, push up rents, cut services, and then what's going to happen is that our legislators in Tallahassee are going to be begged for money by our counties. And so it's further erosion of the whole home rule problem. We need targeted relief, and I've spoken to property appraisers and other experts, and there are actually really good solutions that we can do. So don't worry about that. There are solutions. But I do think that one of the first big fixes that we should do is we need to tax the big corporations the same way my business is taxed. Right now, the big corporations use a corporate tax loophole, and they don't pay the same amount that any small business owner in this room pays, which is absolutely ludicrous. So we could get somewhere in the $1 to $2 billion range. I've seen different estimates. So we'll go with $1 billion just to be safer. But we could get $1 billion a year just if we close one corporate tax loophole, which would help everybody in Florida. Also, Florida refuses Medicaid expansion. The federal government covers 90 cents of every dollar, and 40 other states have already figured this out. And if we were able to actually get that money, we could really help rural hospitals, and we could help a lot of people. And it would help working people and families stuck in the coverage gap. Why do you think we're not getting this money? Partisan politics. So, pardon?
Racist.
I agree, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of reasons, but it's coming from, we've had a single party system in charge of Florida for decades since I've been here. You know, that's part of the problem. I think when you have a supermajority of either party, it's a problem, but that's another discussion. So my second point, again, I only have 4, is home rule. The Florida Constitution guarantees local communities the right to govern themselves. This is called home rule. Tallahassee has been stripping home rule away bit by bit over the years. SB 180 is a good example if you guys are familiar with that. And what's happening is that our land developers are clearing land and building at an alarming rate, and they're not putting in infrastructure. You guys are seeing it in Flagler. I'm seeing it in St. Johns County. And I started going to county commissioner meetings in St. Augustine because I got really frustrated with the developers building or putting in a plant in a pot and then pulling it up after the inspection's over. That pisses me off. You know, things like that. But the county commissioners don't have the strength to do anything because the home rule has been taken away by Tallahassee. So they don't really have the teeth that they used to. And we really need to give power back to our different counties, the 67 counties in Florida. And we need infrastructure before development. You guys are all seeing this in Flagler and St. Johns County and throughout, and that's what's not happening with the developers. We need roads, we need drainage, clean water, and the developers should pay the true cost of growth, which they're not. And current residents shouldn't have to pay after the fact, which you guys are. And I really care about the environment, and we really need to fully fund Florida Forever. That's the program that voters voted on in 2014, where 75% of the voters voted to try to preserve as much of undeveloped land as we can. This year, the Florida legislature gave it $0. Of course, they had other priorities. The third thing is public schools. And I'm a very strong advocate for public schools. I went to a great public school in Massachusetts, and it really...
What part of Mass are you from?
I'm from Winchester, northwest of Boston, near Lexington and Concord. Are you from that area?
I lived in P-Town and I taught in New Orleans.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, thank you for teaching, because I had phenomenal
I
teachers.
was an administrator too,
You were?
yes.
Very cool. Well, thank you. When did you move here?
2008.
Okay. So, well, I'm from the same neck of the woods. So I went to great public schools, and we have people that taught at great public schools, and here our public schools are really suffering. Florida has ranked last or 50th in teacher pay for 3 years in a row. Public dollars are being diverted into private school vouchers, if you guys are familiar with that. And they're also giving money to families who are already paying for their private school with money that's coming out of the public school funding. We need accountability and standards that are the same for private, charter, and home schools, as well as public schools, because every child deserves the right to learn, but they also need to learn real history as opposed to what's being taught these days in Florida. And what I like about public schools is they're the great equalizer. It's where children of every background learn together. And they're also part of what makes neighborhoods strong and home values stable, because public schools really affect our home prices and our home values. And when public schools are weakened, everybody pays the price. And today I was talking to a friend who's a teacher in public schools, and she has to go through so much extra education, which is great. I have nothing against it. But she doesn't have the same standards applied to her as someone who's going to a homeschooler, or charter schools, or even the private schools. And that's really annoying. So that's my frustration. Sorry to vent on you. All right, my fourth point is follow the money. If you want to know why the Florida government isn't working for everybody, follow the money. The day before the legislative session started this year, different people, the Florida lawmakers banked $14 million in one single day. That's 14 million bucks. Gun manufacturers, insurance companies, big developers. One of the developers has tens of thousands of acres of Florida land that they're really itching to develop. They gave money to the legislators in hopes that they would fund their pet projects. And to be fair, both sides did take the money. This wasn't just Republicans or just Democrats. It was both. And that's part of the problem. Regulators also approved a $7 billion rate hike for FPL, so everybody's power is going to start going up. And as a thanks, Ron DeSantis' PAC got $250,000 from FPL, or from the parent company of FPL. And meanwhile, Florida families are being told to tighten their belts. Teachers have to buy their own classroom supplies. Local governments are told to do more on less. And all of this is on the November ballot. But politically connected donors and corporations, they're getting access, contracts, and favors because of who they know and who they give money to. And what we need to also look at is the political and expensive takeover of things like New College, and look at how we had to pay to paint over the rainbow sidewalks. And look at Alligator Alcatraz, where Florida lawmakers where taxpayers are being put on the hook for hundreds of millions of dollars, while politically connected contractors are making lots of money off the suffering of others. Our state isn't being reimbursed for Alligator Alcatraz, and this is not fiscal responsibility. Fiscal responsibility is funding roads before development. It's keeping insurance affordable, and it's paying teachers enough to stay. And it's encouraging doctors to stay in the state. I can't tell you how many doctors I know that have left. Do you guys know any doctors that have left the state? I mean, that's terrifying. So we need our legislators to protect clean water. We need to help seniors stay in their homes, and we need to help first-time home buyers buy a home before the average age, which is now 40 for first-time home buyers. I bought my first home in my 20s. I mean, that's ludicrous. So here's my promise. I will not take corporate PAC money. I will be accountable to the people of District 19. I am a small business owner. I am not a career politician. In business, you solve problems and you listen to people, you balance budgets, and I can't blame somebody else and move on if there's an issue with my business. I have to fix it. And these are the skills that I'll bring to the Florida House. Affordability, home rule, and strong public schools, these are not partisan issues. I'm running because District 19, I feel, is worth fighting for. Parents should be able to afford to live here, retirees should be able to stay here, and young people should be able to have a future here. The LGBTQ plus Floridians should know that they belong here, and every one of us deserves a state government that actually works for us and not just for the corporations. I'll show up, I'll hold town halls and answer the phone, and I will listen. And I will fight to bring real solutions to the House floor in the legislature. Please go to my website, volunteer, follow me on Facebook, promote my posts, let people know that I'm here. And let me know what's on your mind, because I really care about what matters to you, because that's what this position's all about. This position is about working for the people, not just corporations. So Florida's our home, this is our fight, and I would be honored to earn your vote. I'm Suzanna Pavelle, and you can follow me at suzannapavelle.com. Thank you.
You're going to take questions?
Yeah, I'm happy to take questions. Sorry I had to read it. I just was, like, I had to rewrite what I had. And this is, so if you come on, please come next Thursday. You'll hear it again, but I'll be more polished.
I have a question about power and money. Yeah, money is definitely running all of our politics and controlling everything. So what do you propose that we do? How do we account?
Oh, gosh. I mean, I would love to do what we did in Hawaii, but I think that the first thing that we have to do is we have to get the legislators in Tallahassee to remember that their job is to work for us. And I think that's been forgotten. I mean, because over the years I've been complaining and complaining and complaining, but we need to get money out of politics. I think that would be key. But I think the first step is to let our legislators know that, you know, you're here for us. You're not here to enrich yourselves. And Florida isn't a stepping stone to Congress, like I've seen in my district, in District 19. Well, because that's what's happening in District 19, is that the legislators, it's just a stepping stone. They don't care. I mean, like the guy I'm running against, he's never held a town hall that I'm aware of. I don't think he's even gone out to talk to the people. But I mean, the Hawaii model is a good one.
What is that? Yeah, what is that?
So what Hawaii did is that they have circumvented Citizens United to take money out of politics. It's pretty smart. And if we could do something, I mean, I think that would be down the road. It's because there's so much in Florida, but it would be great. We need to get rid of Citizens United. D.
Sam is actually in Palmos right now. He's at the town center.
Oh, he is.
Yes.
He's meeting with people.
He's been here last week.
Oh, I have to go meet him in person. He lives really close to my mom. I'm not going to go visit him, but he lives physically within biking distance of my house.
He doesn't have any Democrat.
Pardon?
You don't have a Democrat opponent.
I currently don't, knock on this, until the end of this week. I could, because somebody's just jumped into 18. So we do actually have somebody in 18, 19, and 20, all Democrats. And Art is the fellow that I know for 18, and there's a new contender. But I am officially on the ballot. I have the little official whatever. Yes?
I imagine that as a new politician to be, you have a limited budget. So the question is, how do you intend to reach, and what mechanisms do you intend to use to reach with those independent and sensible Republicans who are concerned about the same things you are?
I've been watching different people like Dee, I'm throwing her under the bus because she's doing a phenomenal job, of going to events and talking to people. So like I'll be at Pride this weekend, and I'm just trying to get out, and I have a table and I have a booth, and Sam's been helping me, and just basically talking to people and just one-on-one. And I've had a lot of independents that say they have my vote, which is cool. And people recognize me, which is disconcerting since this was not my thing.
Where is Pride this weekend?
In St. Augustine. So there's Pride in St. Augustine, and then there's Pride in Palm Coast and Bunnell at the end of the month. Thank you. Yep. And so I'm just trying to, although that tends to be, I don't know about the crowd in terms of independence, but I do just want to make sure that they know that I'm an ally, because I have a lot of friends and family members who are gay and also Jewish, so that, as they got to deal with that first, and, then, so it's a double whammy. So anyway, so I'm just trying to get to events and meet people, but I'm trying not to be, I don't want to kill myself because I'm still working.
Where's the one in St. Augustine?
It's going to be at the Gallimore Center. So usually it's been in different locations, but they have a whole bunch of booths, and it's a big, huge location where there's a lot of parking, and you can find it online. I can give you the address too, but I'll be also speaking at Pride for 2 minutes. I had 4 minutes, but I don't need 4 minutes. But yeah, I just want to get out and try to meet people and where they are. I went to First Friday last week. I'll eventually get a table there too. But I'm just trying to just talk to people and just say, what are your concerns? And I mean, a lot of the people seem to have the same concerns, which is the cost of living and whatnot. Yes?
I was just curious if you've given any thought to what happens when you win, and the art of negotiation. I like growing up on those books.
Actually, that's probably something that it's something I'm really good at. Someone recently said, aren't you nervous about Thursday because you'll be with a bunch of men? And I'm like, well, that's how I've been my entire life. I've always been the sole woman. And with my businesses, I was always in charge of customer service and HR. And so I had to fight. My husband was usually one of the he was always a partner in the business, but we had other partners as well. And so I always would fight on behalf of the employees for extra stuff. We always offered health care and 401ks, paid time off to vote, regardless of your party. Paternal leave, because we never ever had any women that had children, but and so I am pretty good at compromising and listening, but I'm also a good squeaky wheel, because I had to be a squeaky wheel for my employees, especially with HR and trying to help make sure that they got the health care they needed. So I'm persistent. I'm from Massachusetts, of course I'm persistent.
Question. There's people in Pompos that I have spoken to, and just walking and talking to people, and most of them are retired, of course, because this is a retirement state. Their question is, why should their taxes be increased if they do not have children in the school system?
Well, probably because they were able to experience public schools. And why should children these days not have the same benefits these days? I actually had the same conversation with the same person in the car today. When I was growing up, my college was super cheap. And I started in Delaware, and I pretty much had a free ride. And then I got a job on Mount Rainier, so I dropped out of college for a little bit. And then I paid full price for Oregon for a year, but it was dirt cheap. It's nothing like today. And people today they're paying so much more than we had to. And there's, reasons and mechanisms for that, which I think are terrible. But I think that I do think that we should have ways to help seniors. Meeting with the property appraiser in St. Augustine, he did have some really good ideas. And I am going to try to meet with a property appraiser in Flagler County as well, because we can give targeted relief to seniors, especially low-income seniors, and we can also give targeted relief to first-time home buyers. There's mechanisms in place to do that, and that's what I'd like to try to address.
One of the things that you could do, like when you get to Tallahassee, is public school has, tight standards. And also, the teachers have to have a degree in field. And in charter schools, they're not held to those standards. Mm-hmm. And the teachers could be way out of field.
Yep.
And not qualified, actually, for the subject they're teaching.
Yep.
So there should be something to tighten up charter schools and things like that to meet the same kind of standards that's required in the public schools.
Totally agree, 100%. And I think it's a really big problem. Because education is really important, especially like, I don't know, I've had employees who thought that the US was founded on Christian values. And to me, as a Jewish person, like I have a problem with that. Well, I mean, aside from it not being untrue, that's what they were taught. And so my question to them was like, where do you see that in the Constitution? And we need to have standards for homeschool, private school, they need to be the same. And teachers, it's a big problem.
You know, I mean, you look at some of the, for instance, the Catholic schools and things like that get the money now that public school, per student get. But most of them that I have known have been very strict and would have no problem aligning with the state standards. But charters are a whole different story,
And also homeschools, like, I mean, there's, yes. I'm not trying to bash either of them, but they need to follow the same standards, especially if they get the money.
I'm a member of a group that sponsored on Tuesday night all the Flagler County School Board candidates of Forum, and I think even people there who were pretty informed were shocked to know that not only do the teachers not have to have the same qualifications and certifications, all of our public school kids have to take the standards test. If you are homeschooling, or even some of the charter schools, and I'm not sure about the Catholic schools, I'm not sure that they have to even take those tests. So we have no way of knowing, and I was a former educator, and sometimes we take the whole standards thing too far, but if everybody's not held to the same accountability, our public schools are losing money to 2,000 students here now.
Yeah, it's been like that for a while. I mean, like with my business managing customer service, I had to teach people how to take 10% of a number. I mean, it's just a decimal point. Like you should be able to come out of homeschool, charter school, private school, and of course public school, knowing the basics, a sentence structure. Like it shouldn't be up to a boss to teach somebody those skills. I agree.
Going back to the question of why should the elderly pay for schools? Well, you just said it right now. If we don't train people to take care of you as you age, what are you going to be left with? Hit them with the pocketbook. I mean, it's the same thing with the vouchers. The voucher costs $7,500 per student. I mean, that's a lot of millions of dollars.
There is, and there's a lot that's unaccountable, and there's also this website that tells you if you're a homeschooler how you can use the voucher money aside from just school. Like you can go to theme parks, you can get a big screen TV, although my friend told me that I was being harsh on that one because they might need that at their house. But there's you can use it for gym memberships. I mean, you could use it for music lessons, and like that's crazy.
To me, that entire voucher system is corrupt, because our job as citizens is to educate our children, not to provide education that's outside of the boundary to make people good citizens and learn how to do, as you said, learn how to think. And as far as homeschooling, there's no boundaries, and even the religious school. When we were growing up, parents were responsible for their child's moral education, and I don't believe that the state that we as citizens should be paying for that.
Yes?
I have two questions. So one of them builds on the standardized testing. So as somebody, obviously I've grown up here, I did all of our standardized tests. They are not the best things in the world, especially to take as students. I'm just curious, at least for my first question, what your opinions are regarding making standardized testing the only way you can move on to the next grade level.
Oh, that's a good one. So I need to preface this by I am not a teacher. I did teach in grad school just as a TA. But I don't know how, I'm sure there's a better way. Maybe you'd be a better person, Ray, than I would be to answer that question, if you don't mind me throwing you under the bus.
Well, I think what's important where there's a lot of slippage is in reading. A lot of slippage in reading. And, the schools that allow the students to have their electronic devices in the classrooms and things like that, reading needs to be more a part of the curriculum. And, this is, I don't know if it's amazing or not, but maybe somebody my age finds it more amazing. A lot of students, if the teacher writes in cursive, the students can't read it. They can't read.
Yeah, my nieces can't read cursive.
Yeah, I find that amazing.
Many friends who can't read.
And
Oh.
one other thing about charter schools. There's a charter school in Temecula, California, that I don't want to mention the name of. But the lady who runs the charter school, who's the owner of the charter school, she has a yacht. And the science program, she allows the kids on her yacht, registered in the school's name, 1 day out of the year, so she could qualify for that yacht.
Oh, that's
For
crazy.
science. Also, she has a big, big, big Winnebago camper, and she has the students aboard that for 1 day per year.
That's painful.
So she has both of them registered in the school's name.
Yeah.
But the students only get to use each for 1 day each.
Just a second. That's awful, and I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I guess there probably is a better way than standardized testing. I don't know really what they would be, but I do think that reading, writing, and arithmetic are important.
Yeah. It just, a lot of the time, instead of it being the grades that you got over the 4 quarters that contribute to whether or not you pass on to the next grade, it's just the standardized exam.
I think it needs to be more encompassing than that, because when I was growing up, it was more encompassing than just the standardized test, because there were other factors that went into it. And you said you had but I think that we can always improve education. I mean, like, that's the thing, is like we can do better with everything. So what was your other question?
My second question is also regarding public schools. I know a lot of people my age are mostly, at least for like Democrats my age, are concerned about the continuous legislation that has been pushing against LGBTQ plus students in schools, and also the lack of gun safety legislation that has been going through our government in the state. I was just wondering what your opinions were on that.
So when I grew up, we were worried about nuclear issues, and so we were told to hide under tables like this, and I got in trouble because I told the teacher that if we got hit by a bomb, we were going to die, and that this wasn't going to help, and they told me that I terrified the rest of the students. So that was, but I think that we really seriously have a gun issue here, and we need gun safety. I did just fill out the endorsement for Moms Demand Action. I think that we can be smarter with gun control. I am not a Second Amendment absolutist, because I think that people kind of forget the other part of the Second Amendment, which is a well-rounded militia, which is really important because, to drive, you have to go through tests. I feel like you should at least get some sort of rudimentary tests for guns. And Dee needs time too, so I'm just, okay. But she was next.
Okay, just real quick. In my work, I developed textbooks, and every state has a different set of standards. And they're not equal. Like, we did some for North Carolina and South Carolina, and people live 10 miles apart with what their kids had to. So that's a big problem with standards. And I heard now that Flagler County is going to be considered an A school because their kids have done pretty well on these standardized tests this year. They're back up. But again, those standards are not the same standards as Massachusetts or New York State. And so there does need to be some kind of standard over the country, but it's really driven in, it's often driven by politics, because that was my job.
Okay, and you had a question too?
Yes. I just want to say hello. Your speech was great today.
Oh, thank you.
Full disclosure, you and I met briefly last week. We talked about canvassing today you asked us for your vote. I'd just like to hear from you. What other support could this group provide for you to help you get over the hurdle, right? We're like within the last 2 months of this thing.
Oh, no, I'm November.
Okay, you're November.
Yes.
What do you need from us?
Well, definitely follow me online if you want to help at any events, and donations would be wonderful. I really suck at asking for money. Thank you, Dee. And suggestions. So like if there's events that you guys know about that I might be able to go to meet people, tell me that. Because I'm willing to go anywhere. I'm willing to talk to anybody. Some of my closest friends are MAGA. And one of them is the reason that I'm running for office, because she told me to stop fetching about things and do something. So that's why I'm here. Yes.
Very quickly, I think the gentleman in the blue shirt just give you your next political ad, which should be how school vouchers can give you a free yacht and a free Winnipeg.
Well, that is on the West Coast, so not necessarily here. So maybe a boat, a kayak, or a paddleboard. Okay.
Minor details.
But if you guys have questions, I'll be here afterwards, and I'm happy. So thank you for talking to me, and if you have suggestions, let me know. And thank you guys.
Elena Galery, candidate
So
for
that goes
Palm Coast City
inside the
Council,
microphone.
District 4. She holds a degree in political science from the University of Central Florida and brings a background in operations, team leadership, and managing large-scale projects. And her experience includes coordinating teams, improving communication, and delivering results. Would you please welcome Delana?
Thank you. Sorry, I'm a mover. I don't like to stay on one spot, and I guess that's just who I am. So first off, once again, my name is Delana D. Galery. I want to make sure I point that out because that's how it's going to look on the ballot come August 18th. So first I want to start off and say thank you guys for having me today. I'm excited to be here to speak, answer any questions that you guys might possibly have. I do want to give a disclaimer. I'm not a politician, so I might not have all the answers for you, but dang it, I'm going to look it up if I don't have it and get it back to you. Okay? And I'm also still excited because we qualified, right? So that's a big step inside of the campaign. We're qualified, we're ready for August 18th, and we're really ready just to get out and tell everybody continue to tell people across Palm Coast. So a little bit about me, as you guys already heard, a little about my background. So I'm Delana D. Galery. I have been in Palm Coast for a total about 12 years. Now I say total because my last job kind of had me all over the world. Well, Florida, okay. That's the world for me. I'm still young, okay? Now I have traveled all over the U.S., but living, no. My family comes from a small town called Hastings. You know, we call that the potato capital of the world. It is. That's how I got like this. And then my father's side is from Daytona. So I'm pretty local, whether Volusia County, St. Johns County. I did attend high school and middle school in St. Johns County. I am a proud Falcons from Pedro Menendez High School and a proud Knight from UCF, University of Central Florida. I'm the youngest of three. My brother was supposed to be here, so I'm going to have to talk to him so that way I could give him a shout out. He is in the military, so he's probably going back to the base pretty soon today. But yeah, I'm the youngest of three. So today, I keep getting the same thing, and I kind of want to make sure that everybody knows who I am, what I'm about, and answer any questions that you guys might have, so that way part of my takeaway or call to action is going to be donations, help support, but for you to tell a friend, right? Because a lot of you, I hear, I don't really know too much about her. I don't know who she is or what she's about, right? So that's what I'm going to try to take care of today for you guys. That's cool with you guys? All right, I like it. And I'm more of an interactive person, and I think that's the trainer inside of me, so it's still inside of me. So if I ask you a question, the body language helps me, okay? I currently work for the Florida School of Deaf and Blind, and yes, I do know how to sign, so that is a plus for me in many ways. So real reason why I got in here, right? A lot of us have been yelling at the screen, correct? Because we're not liking what's going on in DC. We're not liking what's going on in Tallahassee. But realistically, we don't like what's going on locally, right? How many of you guys attend city council meetings? How many of you guys watch it on YouTube? Well, more than what I thought. How many of you wish that you could interact on YouTube? Pending. I'm coming with it. I'm trying to work on it for you. I absolutely love that, you know, most of you guys go, but most of you guys also watch online as well too. A lot of times everywhere else I go, nobody really watches. So thank you for that. So let's just go over everything. So a little bit about me, my platform. So I went over and created what's called the PALM Plan. So I'm looking to protect our quality of life, protect our water, right? I'm looking to go in and help attain some economical jobs, local jobs. I'm also looking to bring leadership that actually listens. And what I mean by that is one that is transparent and is accountable for decisions, right? The other thing is managing smart growth. We're gonna have growth, but I wanna make sure that we're having smart growth and being more proactive rather than reactive with our infrastructure and everything. A lot of things, I've been out from time to time. I've done a couple town halls. I've even had a segment where we walk with Dee in City Hall. I know I've seen a couple of people that attended that, and I appreciate it. But I've really just been hearing from residents and my neighbors of how sometimes they feel like their questions or concerns fall on deaf ears, so to speak. For instance, we all wish that there was an interaction section on YouTube, correct? But 9 out of 10, you have to write an email to your city council member or your mayor to get a response. Now, how many of you guys have written the mayor or your city council member? How quickly have you gotten a return?
Yeah.
How many is still pending? So those are some big things that is a big issue in our community. And one of the things that I do promise, because it is my slogan, is leadership that actually listens. I'm looking to make sure that as you see me now, showing up here, there, everywhere, that is going to be the same pending state laws and sunshine laws and everything, that you can still have a transparent conversation with me in City Hall and outside of City Hall. If I'm eating a steak at Roadhouse, we can still have a conversation to try to answer, but if it's something furthermore, you know, set up a meeting to come see. One of the things I don't like in life is being left on red, I guess the kids would say, and I don't want residents to be left on red. You know when somebody texts you and it's left on red? I just keep teaching you.
I know, I'm just oblivious today. Thank you, Dee.
You're so silly. I don't know what to do with you.
Neither does my husband, so you're not alone.
So those are most of the big concerns that we've been hearing. Smart growth, right? How many of you guys live in the East Hamptons or the East section? How many of you guys remember what happened 3 months ago or 2 or 3 months ago with the new development that is going to get pushed through? How many of you guys were happy about it? Neither was I. Honestly, I wish I was in city council that day to vote with the mayor to shut that down. Honestly, that's where the leadership that listens and the managed growth goes hand in hand together, because honestly, I felt that our city didn't take their time to listen to us, to hear our concerns and make a reasonable decision. I think things just go too fast. And honestly, me running today and winning on August 18th, because we're gonna win, guys. Winning on August 18th is building out the perfect city council that needs to be inside of, in City Hall. So I think myself and a couple other people that are running, this is the team that we need to take back our city. A couple other things. attracting jobs. I've been speaking to the economic developer, not developer, he is the manager. I believe his name's Craig. We've been speaking as well too, right? So what are some opportunities that he's seeing? Why are we so far behind? And a lot of that is we have buildings, but we don't have people for it, right? Or we have people, we don't have the right companies coming to town. So the future of Palm Coast is looking to go towards medical and tech, right? Now I know somebody's gonna hit me with a data center question, and let me tell you, I'm not for a data center, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and get that out of the way. Go ahead and scratch it off, I see it. All right, I'm not for one. I do wanna make sure people understand the difference between a data center and a cable landing center, because every time it gets brought up at city council, people get confused that a cable landing center and a data center is the same thing, and it's not. One is much larger, which is the data center. One is much smaller, which is the cable landing center. A lot of people associate, well, if we get a data center, wouldn't that help us with our jobs? No. Realistically, no. It's gonna take, quite frankly, we're already having an issue with our water. It's gonna take more water. It's gonna be louder, right? And it's gonna be a big, ugly thing inside of our city, right? That's not gonna help our golf courses that we also love out here so much. But the cable landing center, it's much smaller, less water to be used, and less square footage and everything. Now, I'm not saying I would want that to be brought here as well too, but what has been done in the past, I really don't have a handle on it. My job is to protect the present and the future, and that's my goal for us, okay? I spent time, how many of you guys have done the Citizens Academy? How many of you guys have done Flagler County Academy? How many of you guys have done the Police Citizens Academy? How many of you guys never knew anything about that? It's okay. So honestly, if you have not done Citizens Academy, I recommend that you do it, right? As a candidate, I loved it. As a resident, I'm sure I still would have loved it, right? Getting the education of our city and knowing how things move, how things operate was the best thing that could ever happen. And it came at the right time because I'm running for office, right? So now that I get to talk to you about what City Hall is really made of, what's the nitty gritty, what's to come, what's to tour our water treatment plants and really get to see the behind the scenes of it. Wear a face mask, by the way, if you go out there. Okay? To know about how things are filtered out and, how public works actually works, to know why a street gets shut down at 12 a.m. because all the construction workers are paving out the roads and everything. It's a really good educational tool. And honestly, I asked, why is it only held 2 times out of the year? The answer was because they don't have staff that could generate that. Honestly, I vowed that when we win in August 18, that I could take over Citizens Academy so that way we can make it an ongoing thing. Instead of having it once a week, for 7 weeks, 2 times out of the year, look at a different pattern, maybe having it 2 times to bring more scheduled in for us. So that's one of the things I do vow as well too. I am signed up for the Flagler County. Unfortunately, I'm not going to make it to it before the election, but when we win and I'm in office, I still will go to that Flagler County Citizens Academy as well as the Police Academy. So a couple things that I do need help with. I stated in the beginning, I need your help of telling a friend. I'm talking to all your neighbors right here, but when you leave here, I need you to tell another friend so they can tell another friend, so they can tell another friend. The only way, the strategy for me to win is the help of you guys and knocking doors, volunteers, and really getting the message out. That's what I need. I also need donations, right? Because it's gonna take time to, one, knock on doors, but we're going to need to get our material out. We're going to need to get flyers out. We're going to need to get yard signs out. We're starting to get a little bit more visibility out in the roads. I don't know if you guys seen my sign on State Road 100. It looked pretty out there. It's right next to Kathy Moon. You can't miss it. There you go. Your husband biking in Palm Coast? Lord Jesus. Y'all too fit for me. St. Augustine to Palm Coast? All right, girl. But yeah, so we're starting to get more visibility out there. We're still building a little bit more. We have 8 signs to put up. I will ask that if you have an area that you don't see our signs, or maybe a private area, I would greatly appreciate it, so that way our name can be separated from the others. I don't know if you guys have currently seen, I have 3 other opponents, not 1, not 2, 3. They got scared. They know we coming. The blue wave's coming. So they got scared. So right now they don't think that there's another person in the race. They only focus on 2. But that's okay. We can be a silent assassin. With all you guys' help and your friends and your families, we could be a silent assassin and take back that win on August 18th. So, visibility, telling a friend, donations, of course. We love that. But also sharing our message out on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or Threads if you have it. Really getting that message out to other people. Whether you share it in a group that you might be in, that's how I'm going to attract NPAs. That's how I'm going to attract the Republicans. I know somebody's probably going to ask, well, what is my strategy to get to them? Right? So yes, I do a lot of events. I do a lot of events on both sides. Now, before anybody thinks that I'm a traitor, I'm not. I have to be a strategic. So yes, sometimes I do attend Republican events because they need to get to know me, right? What better way to try to steal votes if you go right in front of the person, right? So yesterday I did attend an event that I spoke to a lot of people. It was about 20 people, but I spoke to a lot of people. I gave them all my palm card. I gave them all my business card to call and everything. And you know, the first thing that they said was, you're a breath of fresh air. You're young. You sound like you have a fresh perspective. That's what we need. Now that came from a Republican, okay? Imagine how many more people they're either gonna go tell or what they're gonna go post on their social media. So if we could continue setting those message out through Republicans or MPAs, even our young adults, that's a big area that we're missing. Some of the current events that I have coming up, I have a keynote event next Friday downstairs. It's from 5 to 8. And typically that's where we see younger adults foot traffic, right? So what better way is to meet them where they are, opposed to having them come to us. So that's something that we're doing a little bit differently. I am looking to bring back the walk and talk with Dee in City Hall because a lot of people are asking. Just in the group yesterday, 5 people asked me, are you still doing your walks? Well, I am now. Got no choice. No. But no, those are good ways to just stay healthy, educate people about, first off, getting out and vote. But second, educating people about me and my vision, my plan, and hearing back feedback any way that I can. The other one that we have is July 4th. I know it's the 4th of July, guys. We're going to attend the Flagler County, the Flagler Beach Parade. So we will be there in the morning. And in the afternoon, we're going to have a little chill day in Holland Park. And it's a community event where I want any and everyone to come and just come and hang out. It's a day just to be with friends and family in the park. We're going to try to have some hot dogs, popcorn, and have the kids come out. And that's how we're attracting middle-aged families and everything. See how we're going with that, Ray? You watching me? You getting what I'm putting down? Got you. So that's how we're attracting families, right? So that way you get to know who I am. We don't want to label it as a campaign event because then people get discouraged. They so happen to ask, aren't you that person that's running? That's the way to get in through that door. So July 4th, we're having that from 1 to 4 out in Holland Park. We do need some volunteers to help out because we are expecting a larger crowd. So if you are willing to help out, we greatly appreciate that as well too. And last but not least, everybody knows we have the candidate forum that's coming up for Tiger Bay. That's going to be at the Palm Coast Community Center. I welcome all for you guys to come. On the 30th, we're gonna...
Is that a free event that's not clear
You just pay $10 to me, that's it. You just pay $10 to my campaign, that's it. So each and every one of you, you see how I got that donation back? No, it is a free event at the community center. It's open to all. I do think they have like limited seating, so probably whatever fills out that big one.
Parking is hard there. Get there early.
Yes.
There's not enough parking there.
So I'm riding with you on that day? So we get there early?
Yeah, put the top down.
Okay, I got you. I like the wind through my hair. I got you. But yes, make sure you guys get there early, get a front seat. At 5 p.m. it's going to be meet and greet the candidates. The show starts at 6. If you cannot make it, it is going to be broadcast on the radio and I believe YouTube as well. Hi. That is June 25th.
Is that for the Tiger Bank?
Yes.
June 25th?
Yes.
What time?
Meet and greets at 5.
What exactly is Tiger? I mean, I'm going. Michelle asked me to go, but what is it?
Well, they're like an organization.
Yeah.
They're through the state.
So those are a couple things that you're going to see us. And then last but not least, if you can't make it to that one, the Realtor Association is going to have one on the 30th, I believe. That's going to be the last one for the month. So those are a couple opportunities that you will get to meet all of your city council candidates, your county commissioner candidates as well too, and get to ask any questions, not just necessarily to me, but my opponents as well too. So with that being said, hold on, Ray, I got you. I'm gonna open it up for questions.
You gotta stress with the data center too, there's gonna be an enormous amount of power used.
Okay.
And so consequently, supply and demand, if there's a lot of power used, it's gonna force the residential rates to go up as well.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna pay some kind of surcharge or fuel charge or whatever. And the more power you use, the more it's gonna be reflected in the higher bill on your residential bill.
I got you. I'm gonna take that in and put that in my. Oh, I like it. Thank you for that. 1 second. Okay, Sharon. 1 second.
Could you just mention how folks can get in contact? You're asking for volunteers. You mentioned.
Dang, I always
cards,
miss something. She always gets me.
websites. What?
All right, so yes, my website, which I do have a new website, by the way, it is still DelanaGallery.com, so DYLANAGALERY.com. It did just get a facelift, so go ahead and check that bad boy out. It's a little bit more interactive. Also, you can find me on Facebook as well, too. It's going to be Delana D. Gallery, just all one word, and it'll pop up. And then on Instagram and Threads, it's just Delana Gallery. You'll see that as well, too. Now, if you find my Twitter, it's Delana Gallery as well, too. I'm trying to do all the challenges out there. Thank you for that. Yes, ma'am?
I just want to ask you the same question I asked Suzanna. How are your negotiating skills?
You saw how Savannah went first. I was supposed to go first.
She's really good. She's wonderful.
You know what it is because one of the reasons why we even got involved in here at the Dems Club, we've never been involved politically before in our life. Everything ran well. We didn't really feel there was a need.
Mm-hmm.
So we got here, and Mo, Larry, and Curly were running the joint. So we really had to get involved and step up to try to work to get our people in, to have some sense up there. And we're now working with a person who doesn't seem very reasonable in terms of his approach to things. And I, for example, interviewing his potential what's the name of the town you have?
City manager.
City manager in the parking lot, next to his car, instead of in his office, because he thought it was fun. We're playing with, not, some people are not playing with a full deck up there. And so, how do you deal with that? How would you be your approach to dealing with people who are not very reasonable.
So honestly, I mean, I tell people I'm a jack of all trades, but just like Susanna, so at my last job, I was the only person female of color. I was the only female on the team, and I was the only one part of, Pride as well too. So I had a lot of things against me, right? So they're already looking at me a little bit different. I don't care. I come to get a job done, and I come to take care of people. So just like I was taking care of a lot of associates on that job, it just transfers over to the residents, right? So how do I take care of you? How do I pick the right city manager with the mayor? How do I make the right decisions for an ordinance or whatever is coming up on that dais? I make sure I read any and everything, even the fine print. I'm one of those ones that get a job, I read the handbook on the first day, because I'm going to repeat it back to you. That's just the type of person that I am. But I do try to take things slow and steady, because at the end of the day, I don't mess with people's money and our taxes. I make sure we good, So I don't play with people's money. I don't play with people's feelings or intentions or public safety or just their well-being. So I'm one of those ones that's going to take it slow, make sure that I read everything so that way you guys get the correct answer. So I am very good at negotiating, and I'm very good at getting my way as well too. I'm the baby girl for a reason. Yes?
So what exactly is your district for people to vote for you?
So I don't want to focus on district, although I am in District 4. And the reason I say that, this is a nonpartisan race. And what that means is every registered voter in the city of Palm Coast can vote. I don't like to tell people the district, because then they say, well, I'm not in your district, so I can't vote for you. I need all votes. I don't care if you're from District 1, from District 2, from District 3, from District 4. I need all votes. District 4 gets me through the door, but I'm for all city of Palm Coast, okay? So it's a good question, and I do put District 4, but I don't want people to get confused of saying, I don't live there, I can't vote for you. That's a misvote for me.
That's a very good way to explain it. Thank you.
Thank you. I got that one off on the spot. Anyone else? Oh, that means I did a good job. All right. I like it. Thank you.
Thank you.